What is the deal? What is going on and what is happening with my Raider family? You are back once again for another episode of the Raider Rundown, man. It's another Wednesday. You know what time it is, man. We are live at 5 every Wednesday, 5 Eastern, man, 2 o'clock Pacific time. Today, right, we're going to be discussing my free agent wish list, right? Some free agents that I think the Raiders should have their eyes on, that they should be targeting, right? That once again, my list. And at the same time, we're gonna go through some CFP areas, right? And what is CFP? Cause for pause, right? Cause for pause areas that we need to go ahead and take a double look at on this team, right? We ain't invincible. So at the end of the day, I think it's good that we talk about that. So you already know what time it is, man. We're gonna go ahead and get this intro started, man, and we're gonna get the show cracking. Make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get things rolling. What is the deal, man? You back for another Wednesday episode, another week, man. Feel like it's been a long week, right? Leading up to this, man. We had our episode last week with Sanjeet, man, which was an amazing episode, right? Y'all showed up, y'all showed out. I appreciate everybody that tuned in for last week's episode, man, and they shared out the content. And I'm going to continue to try to have some guests on here, man. But today, we're going to rock a solo dolo, man. Y'all already know what time it is. But I always appreciate everybody that's up in this mug, man. Everybody that shows love. Make sure you guys are hitting the like, hitting the subscribe button if you're really feeling the content, right? And, right, like I said, at the end of the day, we're going to be talking about free agents. And we're going to be talking about cause for pause areas, like I detailed. So before we get to that, if you're already familiar, and if you're not familiar, what we do here on the Raider Rundown Show, man, we go ahead and give our first segment of the day, which is... You gotta hit the roll call, man, from my Raider familiar, man. See who is in the building, man. Number one, we gotta hit up my guy, Chris. What is the deal, man? I'm glad you can be in attendance, man. For real, shout out to you. Raiders Resistance. What's going on, dog? Glad you in the building, man, for sure. 2 cents, what it is, man. How you doing? Glad you here, man. How you doing? My man, John. What up, John? Terrence, man. Y'all showing up, man. Some of the regulars, too, man. Always supporting the kid, man. Appreciate it. And you hear what Chris says, man. You hear what my man Terrence says as well, man. Hit that like button, man. The least that you can do to help any YouTuber out, for real, but... especially here, man, hit that like button, man. It's much appreciated. Last but not least, got to give a shout out to my TRS brethren, man. My guy, Chris from Protect the Shield podcast. Always bringing that fire, man. Appreciate that, man. Oh, and I appreciate you too, 2 cents, man. Yeah, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all just tapping in last week, man, making me feel comfortable, making Sanjeet feel comfortable as well, man. Like I always say, man, we got the best chat, right? Raider fam in the building, man. We don't call y'all fans, y'all fam. At the end of the day, man, we feel like I got the best chat in the YouTube landscape, man. We keep it cool, we keep it respectful. We just talk ball at the end of the day, man. And that's what I like about the little community we got building right here. But at the end of the day, right, let's go ahead and get into some of that Raider content. All right. It is a very, very slow news weeks leading up to training camp, which is good, right? I mean, as a Raider fan, when we don't, the less drama the better, right? So I always say it. So us not hearing anything as a Raider fan is great news, amazing news, in my opinion. But right, we got to go ahead and detail how this team can get better, right? So was having a kind of discussion on X yesterday, and somebody said, we just ride things in the training camp. Not every position can be filled. Not every position can be good. And I wanted to see that point of view, but then I just couldn't bring myself to do it. the perfectionist in me, right, is like, I don't care about any of that. I'm going to try to make whatever I'm doing the best it can be, right? I understand that it may not be logical to get it to where I exactly want it to be, but you got to take some bites at the apple at the end of the day, right? And I think it'd be naive to sit here and say that this Raiders team does not have certain holes and deficiencies on it that will not rear its ugly head in the season. It's definitely going to rear its ugly head in the season. And a lot of us, right, we've been down this road before where we sit here and we try to ignore. It's like you cleaning your room, right? And then you throw all the dirty clothes in the closet and close the door, bro. Like, is the room really clean? Because when you open that closet up, all them clothes is coming out anyway, right? So at the end of the day, like, this is where I'm trying to avoid, right? And trying to, if I was on the Raiders regime, this is where I would be leaning towards if we talking about free agents, man. So what we're gonna go ahead and detail is, number one, my top available free agents that I would be looking at, right? If we were gonna go ahead and I was gonna be part of the Raiders brass, right? So let's go ahead and we're gonna detail you the players, where they last played, how their last season went, and let's see if it is a decline from, when they started their career, blah, blah, to now and all that. See if they're declining, or we're going to see if there is still some tank or still some gas left in the tank, right? So, number one, we're going to start with the first free agent of the day, and I believe I've been talking about this name a lot, and I've been saying it a lot as well. The Raiders need more edge depth, right? I've continuously said it throughout the offseason. More edge depth. We can't just rely on Max Crosby. We can't just rely on Malcolm Kuntz, and that's it, right? Like, literally, that's it. You know what I mean? Now, I understand we got, like our guys Robinson, you know what I mean? Janarius Robinson, he's backing him up. I believe some other guy, Ellison Smith, something like that, getting backed up as well. But at the end of the day, these guys, we have no idea what they are. Zero. You know what I mean? Like, they flash here and there, but right now they're just bodies. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we need some production. You know what I mean? We need some production. So my first name, and my guy Isaiah Randolph already on it, man. Boom. Emmanuel Ogbah, man. That's my first name, bro. I've been saying it for a minute, and he's just sitting there, bro. He's just sitting there waiting to be signed. Now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if, maybe it's a health issue. Maybe it's a contract issue. Regardless of it, bro, I think, if he's good to go, healthy, and he ain't asking for too much bread, I think it's perfect, right? Reasons being, number one, he's already played under Patrick Graham, right? So he's already played under Patrick Graham. Number two, he is very, very, very close friends with Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, John Jenkins. All these guys know each other. All these guys played in Miami together. There's familiarity not only with the coaching staff, but with players that are already in the organization, right? Helping us build that culture. So I think it's perfect. And, right, he wants to get back to a 4-3 system. We're playing that system. It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. Not only does he help us with the edge depth, right, but he would definitely help us in the run defense category as well. I'm not really worried about Max Crosby, right, in that department. I'm more talking about Malcolm Kuntz. At the end of the day, we like Kuntz. Pass rushing, we definitely love Kuntz. But has he showed the ability to be an overall 3 to 4 down rusher, right? I would say we still got to work on that run defense. That's just me, right? We still got to work on that run defense. Now, I think Emmanuel Ogbah can give you some of that stuff that maybe Malcolm Kuntz, may lack in for the time being, right? Not saying he's always going to lack at that, but for the time being, if he does lack, you have a guy like this. So what we will do now, let's detail his last season, okay? So last season, he was with the Miami Dolphins. All right, he played 15 games, right? He played 15 games with the Dolphins. He has 7 solo tackles, 13 assisted tackles, okay? He had 5 sacks last year, 1 forced fumble as well, okay? So looking at that, so when you're looking at the sack numbers, right? The sack numbers have definitely took a little decrease. Right now, at the end of the day, when you really look at his career, right, he's only had 2 outlier seasons of 9 sacks, right, in 2 seasons. The rest of the seasons, he's averaged at 4 sacks. So him having 5 sacks last year is pretty on par, right, for what he usually does. But at the end of the day, 5 sacks coming from a rotational defensive end, will you take it? You goddamn right. I'll take that immediately. You know what I mean? But looking at it, okay, he played pretty well, I would say. Not overly amazing last year on that defense over there, but he played okay. He's still looking for a home at the end of the day. Been in the league for a number of years. Started his career with the Cleveland Browns, 3 years, was with Kansas City for a year, and has been with Miami ever since, right? Has been with Miami ever since. So as of last year, as of 2022, he saw a decrease in playing time, right? He saw a decrease in playing time. So what's going on there? Miami added more talent, stockpiled more talent, and it seems like, especially from the games played, the stats, he started to get stashed behind that talent, right? So are we bringing him in here to be the savior of the defensive line? No, we're not bringing him in here to be the savior of the defensive line at all. We're just bringing him in here as a nice veteran rotational edge piece. You know what I mean? That can play the run, that can give you at least 5 sacks in the pass rushing game, right? I think that's something that we can definitely look at, something that we can definitely try to get towards. So that is my first free agent, which is Emmanuel Ogbah, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the first free agent. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the edge depth, right? Like I said, we already touched on it. We got Max Crosby. We got Malcolm Kuntz. What's after that? You know what I mean? Like, what's after that? Where's the rest of, like, when there's rest that needs to happen, right? When some dudes need to get off the field, what are we going to do? So y'all let me know from there, man. But let me see what y'all got going on, man. Oh, Rafa in the building, man. What's going on, man? Glad you in the building. Salute to you. I see you keep doing your thing, man. Always providing the nation with that fire content. No drama and DUIs. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful, Chris. I mean, we can sit here and we just worried about what's going on with the football, right? With the field. That's all we care about. We don't care about no off the field, any of that. And I understand there's a story out there that is talking about our coach and his financial situation. I'm not going to touch on that, right? I'm not going to touch on that. I know some other people touched on it. If they have, that's good. But to me, it's just not something I really think is right. That really makes sense to talk about as far as the team is concerned, right? That's just me, my perspective. Other people talk about it for sure, but if it's not about the field and if it's not anything egregious, bro, where I definitely got to take my stance on that, I don't think it need to be mentioned. You know what I mean? I don't think it need to be mentioned. But let me see what we got going on. Isaiah said, Ogbah, yeah, you already know. Hey, he already know what time it is with me, man. Boom. Turf, what's the deal? What's going on, my guy Turf? And shameless plug, man. Y'all get ready for that Turf and Rundown tomorrow night, man. Gonna be real spicy. Can't wait for that, man. Glad you can be in the building, man, for sure. Chris says, no unique. No unique. Okay, interesting. My guy says, agreed. He would be a solid addition. Uh-huh. I think we have some dude named Ellerson Smith. See, exactly, right? Ellerson Smith. I don't know who that is, right? I have zero clue, and that's no disrespect. I just have zero idea who that is, right? Like, let's keep it a whole bean, keep it a whole stack. At the end of the day, bro, does that strike fear into anybody's heart? I don't want to hear that, oh my God, like it's just rotation. Because there's going to be somebody that sits there and is like, oh, it's just a rotational edge. You'll say that until you get into week 6 of the season and there's no depth to speak of at that position. You feel what I'm saying? Now we just relying on 2 dudes to cause pressure because the other dudes we got back there are guys that in whatever world we thought was going to do something right now. Maybe they will. Maybe AP have them playing right. Maybe Patrick Graham have them playing right. But yeah, you know what I mean? Still, how much are we expecting? How much are we expecting? That's all I'm talking about. My guy Leo, what's going on, man? Glad you in the building as well, man. All my TRS brethren always supporting, man. It's much love to them and everything they be doing, man. Turf had a fire show yesterday as well, man. So make sure you guys go over to that and hit the like button on Turf Show as well. But keeping it rocking, man. Give me 1 second. You know I gotta pull up my stuff, man. Pull up my handy dandy stuff. But keeping it rocking. Next free agent that we are going to talk about, and y'all already know what time it is. You know where we're going. Some of you already done detailed, right? You've already detailed it. When we talk about cause for pause areas, right? You know pretty much if you on that TRS chat and all that, you know where I'm going, all right? I don't care what anybody says. That secondary scares me, bro. That secondary scares me. And like I said, you can put the dirty clothes in the closet all you want. At some point, somebody gonna open that door and see them crusty drawers that you got right there. You feel what I'm saying? At some point, whenever it may be, you feel what I'm saying? You gonna get exposed. So my thing is this. Let's try to avoid that, right? And what best way to avoid that than to just get a veteran to try to teach some of these young guys. It's not like we don't have talent in the room, but some of it is green, some of it's raw. So let's get a veteran. And what's a better veteran than Stephon Gilmore, right? What's a better veteran than Stephon Gilmore to come in and teach, right? To come in and teach, come in and probably give some of these guys a little year to see technique, see how it's done, right? And then we'll see what we got from there. You feel what I'm saying? I give you my number one reason. I've continuously said this, though. I've said this even during, off season, even like really when the season ended last year. We're hella young at corner. Like hella young at corner. There's not a lot of veteran depth at that position. You know what I mean? You look at the room, you got Jack Jones. He's pretty young, ain't been in the league that long, right? Then you got Jacorian Bennett, second year. You got the Camryn Richardson, first year, right? Then you got Devonshire, first year. Then you talk about Brandon Faison. And Brandon Faison is the Grizzly veteran in there, right? But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of veteran pieces to lean on if things were to go awry, right? At the end of the day, that's where I'm at. Second reason, okay? Right now, I see a lot of conflicting reports, right? And a lot of conflicting opinions when it comes to this cornerback position. First, I see a lot of people, let's say reporters, Brandon Faison. They love Brandon Faison. They want Brandon Faison to take that physicality role and be that guy on the other side of Jack Jones and all that. And then you hear, Jacorian Bennett's making these plays. Jacorian Bennett is doing this at camp. Come on, bro. Let's not fall for that okie doke. All right, let's not fall for that okie doke. Now, Jacorian Bennett, sure, he might be able to do something. He might be able to ascend and, become the player that we need him to become. He might be able to do that. But if we're going to start talking about, he's getting beat out by Brandon Faison, right? Like he's getting beat out by Brandon Faison. And he does, and Faison is the starter. Oh, yeah, bro. We're Swiss cheese. We're Swiss cheese. I mean, you can say, you can point to whatever factor you want to point to. Oh, the D-line will do this. But for how long, bro? Realistically, right? Be honest with yourselves. It is a 17-game season, right? The D-line can do so much. You feel what I'm saying? Unless you have the 1985 Bears D-line. If that's what we're going to have this year, then sure. But this D-line, as of right now, is not a top 5 D-line. They're not a top 5 D-line. We might be a top 10 right now. But that's because of 2 dudes right now. For real. I'm not even going to cap. That's because of 2 dudes. So we're hoping Tyree can do something, right? We hoping Tyree becomes into what he becomes. We're hoping that Malcolm Kuntz continues his dominance in that last 8 games. Well, we don't know, right? So now you see what I'm saying? Like, we can't just rely on the defensive line every game, bro. And yes, we like Jack Jones, and I think Jack Jones can be good. He showed certain instincts to me. But then it's like, bro, it's not that hard to scheme if you're an offense to say, well, that cornerback over there is pretty trash. Like, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, we'll scheme that up to go to this side pretty much. You know what I mean? Can your linebackers cover hella good? Not really. You know what I mean? And that's the next portion too, but we'll get to that at a later date. But at the end of the day, your linebackers aren't Fred Warner and all that. So it's like there are ways to expose this defense. But if we're going to stay on the cornerback position, right, this gives you some flexibility, right? This does not just allow, if you sign a guy like Gilmore, this does not just allow an offense to say, well, okay, they got one good corner over here, but this dude over here is pretty trash. So it's like he's dog water. I can kind of come over here when I want to. You know what I mean? Manipulate it when I want to. That doesn't give you that option no more, right? Now you got to think twice on both sides. And you already know what time it is. Now everybody that wants to chime in with that defensive line argument, if you got to think twice on both sides, that allows now this D-line to do what they do, right? To do what they do. So realistically, all right, when we talking about this Raiders defense, let's really put it in a vacuum, put it in a prism, right? Look at the personnel. Look at what we do, okay? This defense and Patrick Graham really protects and has been up to this point, because we ain't really had the dudes protecting this secondary, because it is the weakest part of this defense. He is protecting the secondary. The formula that we're going to do, because we are going to be one of the best run defenses in the league, for sure, right? You got one of the best run defending D tackles in the league this offseason, and you got one of, if not the best run defending edge in the league. We're going to be nice at defending the run. I can see that off rip, right? We're going to be physical. But where it gets you is where we start talking about the pass. And it's not really the pass rush. It's more of the fact, like, if this defense is not causing just 2 seconds of pass time, bro, it's going to get ugly. You know what I mean? The formula is keep teams 3rd and long so we can pin our ears back and do some damage, right? You're not going to be able to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down. We'll stop that. Boom, it's 3rd and long. We'll get off the field. Where we're going to, as it sits right here, where we're going to get in trouble as a team is if it starts to get 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, and there's, you know what I mean, there's options. Now you have options. That's what's going to start killing this defense. For real. Because now them deficiencies will start getting exposed. You feel what I'm saying? They definitely going to start getting exposed. So my thing with Gilmore, right, it's like I would just like another guy as of right now, because this is just my feelings right now. Once again, one of these dudes in camp can show up and show out. And if he does, well, hey, we saved that bread. It is what it is, right? I've continuously said I don't care about being wrong as long as the right thing occurs, which is us winning. I don't give a damn at that point. But at the end of the day, if we just talking right now and I'm part of the Raiders brass, this is something I'm bringing up for sure. Now, let's go ahead, and you already know what time it is. We're going to detail his stats from last year. Now, I've said this before, right? He didn't end the season particularly well in my eyes. And we talking about Stephon Gilmore. Did not end the season particularly well. I mean, I saw that playoff game against Green Bay. That ass was grass. Guaranteed, right? When we were talking about whatever Green Bay did that game, he did not look good, right? And I will be the first to admit that. But we'll still look at this. We'll still look at these stats. Now, was with Dallas last year, all right? Played in all 17 games, okay? So a veteran guy, but still played in all 17 games, which is very good to see and is a good trend, right? Because he's kind of been nicked over the years. You know what I mean? You see the trend of him being in the league. You see 11 games, 14 games played, 12 games. So it's like, you know, you see the injury, right? You see the injury factor. But of the last 2 seasons, right? Of the last 2 seasons, the one with him in Indianapolis in 22 and in Dallas, he played 16 games in 22 and 17 games in 23. So, okay, cool. Durability factor. That's one, right? So you go there. We talking about total tackles, has 68 total tackles, 54 solo tackles with 14 assisted. So getting in there, all right, trying to tackle, trying to make something happen. But really, where the rubber meets the road and really where we're going to need something, I'm looking at the interception total, right? Now, obviously, the outlier defensive player of the year performance with 6 interceptions in 2019, that hasn't happened and occurred since. But when you round it out, He averages about 3 to 2 interceptions per year, right? 3 to 2 interceptions per year, which is cool. He had 2 last year, all right? Not as sticky as he was, right? Definitely lost a little step. No, I'm not going to sit here and say we're getting, New England Stephon Gilmore. We're not getting that. We're not getting that. You get him with the understanding that, you know what I mean, he's a veteran. But I think this is the veteran signing that we were thinking that Marcus Peters should have been. You know what I'm saying? That's where I would be right here. This would be the veteran signing that we thought Marcus Peters was going to be. Eventually did not turn out to be, but what we thought that he would be, which is a nice veteran presence that's going to turn the ball over for us. And at the end of the day, right, give us some flexibility at the position. So, second free agent, Stephon Gilmore, man. Y'all already know what it is. Go ahead. Let me know how y'all feel down below on that, man. We two down, right? Stephon Gilmore, Emmanuel Ogbah. I want to know how y'all feeling so far. How you feel about the cornerback position, because we're going to talk about it a little more in detail soon, right? But, yeah, that's it right there. That is definitely it. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Let me see. Pass rush specialist. That way Haley used to be. See, man, they want that pass rush specialist, man. People want that pass rush specialist. Chris says, Gilmore on the cheap to help out the youngsters. We do not need another Matador Peters. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I think this would be the guy, that it actually works out with the veteran. You know what I mean? Last year, a vet should have definitely helped last year. He didn't. He made it worse. Let me see. Veteran prep. My man, OJ, what's going on, man? What's going on with you? Veteran presence is always a huge impact. We cannot look past how beneficial it was for Mac having Justin Tuck. Very interesting. Let me see. A vet and a leader, two different things. OJ, Tuck was a leader. What vet out there is a leader? Gilmore is a leader. I would say Gilmore is a leader. At least for that cornerback room, he definitely will be. OJ says, bring in J.C. Jackson and his cyborg ACL on I'm sorry things didn't work out Uncle Tom contract. Hey, man, I don't know, man. I don't know about J.C. Jackson. I don't know about J.C. I don't think I can rock with that just based off how I saw it was that bad. What I saw from him, he like at least what I saw from Gilmore, it was at the end of the season last year, and I'm like maybe he just didn't have a good game, bro. J.C. ever since he left New England was terrible. Dog water. I don't know, bro. I don't know if he can flip that switch. I just don't know what it was. For him to be that good and flip to that bad, I don't know. I have zero clue. Leo says, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind a Gilmore or Jackson. See if they can have comeback seasons, but not hanging success on defense on that alone. No, definitely not. But guess what, man? You already know me, man. I'm a nitpicker, bro. At the end of the day, I'm going to nitpick, and it is what it is. You can't, everything not all good, bro. Everything is not all good, bro. We are very far from being the best defense in the league, bro. Very far. You know what I mean? Like, I just want people to understand that. Feel what I'm saying? Because we get 1 year of success on the defensive side of the ball, and like I said, now all of a sudden we the 1985 Bears. No, bro, we're not that. You know what I mean? We're good. We can be better. That's all I'm saying. Let me see. My guy, Real Talk Raider Nation, man, what's going on? He says, if we don't sign a good vet corner before training camp, I have a theory of what Telesco might be prepping for. Man, share it with the class, man. Share it with the class. What you talking about? Unless you're trying to say that for a video topic, then that's different, man. You go ahead and get your bread. But share it with the class, man. What you over there thinking? Definitely. And why, if my man is cooking that up, okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to our third free agent. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, right? If you're just joining us, right? We done detailed 2 free agents already that we're talking about, right? We talked about Emmanuel Ogbah for some edge depth, and then we talked about Stephon Gilmore for that cornerback position as well, adding himself into that training camp battle. But like I said, right? Okay, so We're going to go into this third free agent. And we're going to stay on the edge depth, right? We're going to stay on the edge depth because I just think it's something that when the season comes, right, and it's starting to, the attrition starts to hit, right? We're gonna need more ammunition going into the season, right? That's really where I'm at right now. I think the more ammunition, the better. Now, our first edge that we gave was someone more all around, right? Someone more all around, somebody that's going to give you probably a little more in that run game category, right? He's going to give you a little more in that run game category, can give you something as far as the pass rushing game, but, not the specialty. Now, this guy right here, complete flip, complete opposite of all that, right? And it's going to piss some of y'all off, and some of y'all already know where I'm going as soon as I said complete flip. And that is Unique Ngakoue, right? Unique Ngakoue. Now, there was a report article out there that kind of detailed that the Raiders could be interested in bringing him back. I know some of you are looking and immediately was like, oh, hell no, we're not doing no. We're not doing that, man. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Maybe. And I know some of you definitely saw this name and was like,
move this man.
I know y'all. I know some of y'all got mad, but right? Think about it. We don't need him to do what he was doing the last time he was here. The last time he was here, we were counting on this man to be an all-around edge rushing player, right? An all-around. That's what we kind of paid him to be. That's what we kind of hoped he can be. Somebody that can, like Max, be on the field for all 3 downs. We have now since learned that's not really his strength, right? His strength is if I can get him on that 3rd down, right? And like I already said, we already detailed it, bro. The formula of what this team is trying to do is literally play that run, right? Like we gonna be nasty against the run. Get you on a 3rd and long situation and pin them ears back. I mean, it sounds simple, but at the end of the day, most people aren't predicated on that. Most people just only care about rushing the passer. This team is going to be a stop the run first, right? That's what most of the guys can do very well. But we need more of that juice when we're talking about rushing that passer. And when we get on 3rd down, I want as much juice as possible, right? As much juice that we can muster, boy. Like at the end of the day, we're talking about at just getting on the field on 3rd down. That's all. We're not talking about playing the run because he can't really do that all that well. But we just talking about, hey, bro, see quarterback, get quarterback. That's it. You feel what I'm saying? That's it. And I think if he can do that, we'd be all right. I think we'd be all right. And at the end of the day, bro, I mean, we're going to pay this man in Lay's potato chips. We're not even going to give this man anything. You feel what I'm saying? That's the next thing. There is nothing that he can ask above a certain price range, bro, like at all. Feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, right, we can pay this man in packing peanuts. And we're getting a cool edge rusher, right? Somebody that at least we know that's what he can do if we bring him in for a specialty role. Now, let's go ahead and detail some of the statistics of what we got going on. Bounced around a lot, bro. One of the more puzzling careers that I've ever witnessed. I ain't gonna lie. One of the more puzzling careers I've ever witnessed, because it's not like he's been terrible at times. He hasn't been terrible. It's just the fact he's bounced around from team to team. It's outrageous. It's crazy, right? You look at his last season, right, with the Bears. He played in 13 games and had 4 sacks. 13 games and had 4 sacks. Didn't really play all that much, right? Didn't play all that much on the Bears, but still had 4 sacks though, which is wild. And I'm looking at his career, bro. I mean, every time he's with a team for a year, it's like, or he doesn't get brought in the middle of a damn season, He's getting close to 10 sacks, bro. I mean, damn, with us, he had 10 sacks. That's all I'm saying, bro. He had 10 sacks with us. At the end of the day, bro, we don't need this man to be no all-around defensive end. That's what you hope. I mean, that's what you hoping Malcolm Kuntz can be, ain't you? Most of you guys that love Malcolm Kuntz, if Unique come in here, it shouldn't affect that not one bit, right? At the end of the day, if you love Malcolm Kuntz that much, he's got to produce in that role. Simple, plain, and fact, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if you bring in a guy like that, that only doubles the fact that Kuntz has to play in that role, because we know Unique ain't getting on that field and playing the run. I'm just saying, like, that's all we know. You feel what I'm saying? So if we have that type of confidence in Malcolm Kuntz, this signing right here should be no brainer, because we only need, like my man M85 said, a higher gun. That's all we need. That's it. You feel what I'm saying? Get on there and third down, bro. See quarterback, go get quarterback. That's all I would tell him if I was AP. You know what I mean? He don't need to do too much. Make it simple for him. Let him do what he does best. You know what I mean? And like I said, detailing, bro. He got brought in damn near, you know what I mean, towards a little bit when the season was already underway last year for Chicago. Still had 4 sacks. But even with the Colts, year before, he played 15 games, bro. He had 9.5 sacks. You feel what I'm saying? Like, damn near every year of his career, he's getting close to 10 sacks, bro. Every year. You know what I mean? The only years that he did not get close is when he kind of had that weird holdout situation and he went to Minnesota, still had 5 sacks. The man played in 6 games. Okay? Then he went to Baltimore after that. Only had 9 games under the belt. Still had 3 sacks. You feel what I'm saying? Still had 3 sacks. That's all I'm saying, bro. We just need turnovers, baby. That's it. That's all we need. So I've stated my case, right? I've stated my case. If we're talking about hired gun, hired shooter, right? Somebody for a specialty role, right? We need a guy with a special set of skills. You feel what I'm saying? That can do that thing. I think Unique can be the guy, right? Unique can be the guy. So I have made my case. I know some of you aren't going to be for it, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Whatever's going to help the team move forward, I think that's what we can do. So let me go ahead and get to these comments, man. See what y'all talking about, man. 1 or 2 players is really all we need on defense. Correct. And I have some honorable mention names, but it's like if I added those names, a certain name, it'd be nitpicking to me, right? So I didn't add those. I just think in certain areas we're lacking, right? Now this last one is a wild card. I don't think none of y'all gonna be prepared for this last one, but you already know what it is. The 2002 Ravens defense was good on all levels. We need to try and be like that. Exactly. Right. And some people try to kill you for saying you want a good team on all 3 levels. Like, as Raider fans, where has some of our expectations have gone? Where have they went? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm arguing with people saying like, oh, you can't get good players on each level of defense. We just can't do it. I'm like, why not? I ask them, why not? Oh, we just can't. I've just never seen it done. What does that mean? You feel what I'm saying? What the hell does that mean? So just because you've never seen them really achieve something like that, we can't do it? That makes 0 sense, bro. Makes 0 sense. Now, if you think that a player can work out, sure. But if we're going into camp already and we're sitting here and we're like, it's looking rough, bro. It's looking rough. I mean, we did that for 2 years with Josh McDaniels, and that goddamn guard position is looking rough. And continuously we say the same things. And it's like, once again, we putting the dirty clothes in the closet, sweeping it under the rug for later, only to be found again at some later date. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's all. So at the end of the day, you got to continue to try to get better. That's all I want to do. Continue to try to get better. Let me see. Boom. See, look, my man Chris, he don't like it. He don't like Unique. But I like the division, bro. I want to know. If you could tell us, though, for the people, guys and gals that are not for Unique, why would you not want Unique? That's something I do want to know. Something I would like to hear. Let me see. He could be rotated. Scary part, we injured 2 on defense to be like, oh no, damn, there goes the season. I mean, come on now. right? We don't like to think about these things, but it's a part of the game. If a person goes down, bro, it's ugly, right? Let's just say, for instance, Faison is the starting cornerback opposite Jack Jones. He wins the job. He beats out Jacorian Bennett. Say he beats out Jacorian Bennett, right? Or vice versa, regardless of the fact. One of them gets hurt. Look at the depth after that. That's all. Look at the depth. Spillane. Look at the depth after Spillane. You feel what I'm saying? Certain positions, it's ugly. I mean, you can say that for a lot of people, but we still got to fix some of the depth factor on the team too. Just get more solid depth pieces for sure. My man said, man, that's the most Cali thing I done heard, bro. My man said Lay's with the lemon and chili sauce, man. That's real Cali right there for sure. That's real Cali. A journeyman role player, a one-trick pony. But that's cool, man. That's all we need in this show. You know what I mean? That's all we missing. We just need that one trick. That's cool. We don't need you to do the whole show. Just give me that one. That's all I need. You know what I mean? I don't want to run Max into the ground. That DN rotation would be, that's the next thing. I'm glad you said that, M85. I don't want to run Max into the ground either, bro. There's a conversation that needs to be had. And I understand it's a very, very admirable thing when we look and we sit there and say, like, this man damn near plays every single snap, right? Very admirable. But with the goals that we have for this team, it's in the best interest that this man does not play every snap, right? Like we can say, like, oh, that's a cool thing, but realistically, like, we saw what happened last year, bro. This man don't need to be playing every snap. He needs some type of rest. He might be mad at that too, but as even me, as a coach, I would sit there and be like, you can be mad all you want, bro. I need you fresh, because there are going to be times during the season, especially later in the season, and if we try to get to that dance, and we all know what we're talking about, he needs to be fresh. He needs to be 100%. Out of everybody on that defensive line, that dude needs to be the freshest. You feel what I'm saying? And if we can, whatever we can do to help that, bring in a rotation that we can trust, that when 98 is not on the field, we can still produce some type of pressure. You feel what I'm saying? So that's all we need to do. That's all we trying to do. Try to get that rotation. That rotate, like damn near the 49ers got, where you like, bro, we mix and match. You know what I mean? Damn near the Eagles, the way they got it. I think Leo just said it right there. Bro, it don't matter who we put on there. It don't matter. You know what I mean? And like AP said, don't worry about our quarterbacks. Worry about yours. You know what I mean? Like that. We about to get nasty if that right rotation comes together. And shout out to my dog, Chris, man, showing love, bro. I appreciate you, man, for real, for real. Man, it don't matter if only I got 5 people in the building, 100 people, it don't matter, bro. I appreciate anybody that show up, anybody that shows support, man. So definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody that's here, man. Appreciate you, Chris. You already know what time it is, man. But getting to our last free agent of the evening. This right here is going to throw y'all for a loop, right? It's going to throw y'all for a loop. So we have stayed primarily on the defensive side of the ball, right? We ain't really talked about the offensive side of the ball. Now, we're going to talk about a weak link on this offensive side of the ball. And I don't think it's weak as of right now, but it could be better, right? And we're talking about the running back. Now, I know that as soon as I said that, some of y'all sitting there and it's like, oh, I don't want to hear it, Chris. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, we say get rid of running back. Leo. Oh, we say get rid of running back. It is what it is, bro. We here now, right? But we didn't sit here and say get rid of Jacobs for Swiss cheese. We didn't say that either. You feel what I'm saying? We didn't say just get rid of this right scat pack. It might have some problems, but go ahead, get rid of that and go ahead, grab me a 2002 Civic. I didn't say that, right? You feel what I'm saying? I did have standards at the end of the day. So I'm just like, bro, I'm not happy with the depth at the running back position, okay? Now, I'm good with Zamir White. But I'm not good with the rest of it. Lauby, I like. But I look at Laube in a prism, in a vacuum, because he's going to be doing a certain role until further notice, right? Until I can see how he runs in between the tackles at the professional level, I can only put him in that receiving back role for me. So you take him out, kind of take Abdullah out of it too, because he's kind of in that same role with Laube. Now, we look at the running back position now. Zamir White, I'm cool. Alexander Madison, yeah, not really. I'm not really cool on that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like that. Then you go off of that. Britton Brown. Sincere McCormick. Oh, Sincere McCormick, right? Who else? Who else we got on there? I don't even know at this point, right? We talk about them like that. These are the names, bro. Like, these are the names. So, at the end of the day, I just think we can stand to just probably add more talent in the room. Now, this one right here, right? Some of y'all might not like, but I would take a flyer, bro. I would take a flyer. And this name is Cam Akers. I ain't gonna cap. It's Cam Akers. I would take a flyer on Cam Akers, bro. Only 24, 25. Has some injury issues. Has some injury issues. But when I've seen him right, he can fit in this scheme, bro. He can do some work. He can do some work. Definitely gives us more wiggle. Definitely gives us more wiggle than Alexander Madison, for sure. Right? When he's 100% and he's right, he gives us more dynamic abilities than I would think we would get from Alexander Madison. Right? I see Leo asking, does he pass the rundown test? Yes, he does. He only 24, gonna be 25. You feel what I'm saying? Very, very young. Very young. You know what I mean? If he could stay healthy, bro, and think about this, right? I'm over here saying that, once again, another player, bro, that you'll be paying in packing peanuts. You know what I mean? You ain't got to get this man anything. For real. He don't need to get paid a whole lot of bread. You feel me? You bring him in on the cheap. It's a very low risk, high reward type of thing where if he can stay healthy, bro, this rotation will be nasty. Because I like the kind of opposing skill sets he would bring with Zamir. You know what I mean? With Zamir and him, they're not exactly the same type of runners. He has a little bit more wiggle in his game than Zamir has. Zamir runs with a little more pop, a little more power, right? I feel like they would complement each other very well. You feel what I'm saying? Now, as far as stature and things of that, as things of that nature, they're kind of the same back. But me, you know, like, for example, with corners, I like my corners a little tall, a little lanky, right? With running backs, I don't care, bro. You know what I mean? Damn near sometimes the stockier, the shorter, the better. You know what I mean? They're with that lower center of gravity when you come to a running back. So the build is good, right? I like the build. You talk about that. The speed, we'll see about the speed, right? He's had some injuries. He's had some things where it would make me, you know, cause for pause, right? You're talking about the speed factor and also the quickness factor side to side and some of the injuries that he's had, right? But like I said, we're not asking this man. I wouldn't be asking this man to carry the load at all. You know what I mean? I'm okay with Zamir being RB1. For sure okay with Zamir being RB1. This dude, I would say if you would sign him today, immediately, him and Madison are battling for that RB2 spot. Immediately. That's exactly what I would do. And it's, you know, very fitting. You know what I mean? He come in there in Minnesota last year and he start taking some reps from your boy. It's very fitting, right? Very fitting he start taking reps from your boy. So, be very funny for him. I think he got that edge to him too. Got that little nastiness. You know what I mean? I would like this. I would definitely like this. Would definitely give us some more to work with in that running back room. Because, like, I mean, Leo said it for the defensive side. We'll say it for the offensive side, right? We are one injury away in that running back room from that room looking like complete and utter Swiss cheese, bro. Like, realistically, we are one Zamir ankle or something away. You feel what I'm saying? We knock on wood for that because we don't wish that on anybody. We hope everybody has a long, lustrous, healthy season. Don't matter the team. But at the end of the day, we are one thing away from looking at that room and saying, yikes. You know what I mean? So I would like that. Now, some honorable mentions that I have. We talked about the running back room. Also, I saw Damian Harris out there. If you don't remember the name, used to be number 37 for the New England Patriots, I believe, Alabama running back. He's out there as well, was with the Buffalo Bills. So he's out there as well. I'm tripping. Didn't even give y'all the stats on Cam Akers last year. And I got to give y'all the stats. Definitely got to give y'all the stats. And then we'll talk about what you guys talking about right there. But last year, came in on the fly to Minnesota, had his problems with the Rams. Like I said, bro, he's not that old, bro. He's only 25. So he's only 25 years old. If it works out, you'll be able to re-sign him and you got a good 1-2 punch, right? So think about that. But played in 6 games, only had 38 carries last year. But of them 38 carries, had 138 yards. He averaged 3.6 yards a carry last year. Definitely, he had 1 touchdown. Let's see if we're talking about, him and his receiving stats. Had 11 receptions on 12 targets. So only dropped 1 pass. So 70 yards receiving there gives you something in the receiving game as well. I think can be a better receiver than Alexander Madison. So again, I think if he was to come into camp immediately, he would challenge Alexander Madison for them RB2 snaps off the bat, off rip. He would challenge him. Now, when we go to, let me see something. When we go to your boy stats, right? When we go to your boy stats, we look at all that. Yeah. I think that this is something that, if we were to take a look at, I don't think that's something that the Raiders are really, really looking at as of right now. I think as of right now, they think they're good with, they think they're good with the running back position. But just to keep it in perspective, right? We said Cam Akers averaged 3.6 yards carry last year. I mean, Madison averaged 3.9. So it's like, what's the real difference? You know what I mean? What's the real difference? He only had 38 carries last year. Madison had 180. So if you average out the carries, it's probably looking damn near around the same thing. You know what I mean? If you average out them carries that your boy Akers had to what Madison had, you're probably averaging damn near the same thing. And Madison had 0 rushing touchdowns last year. 0 rushing touchdowns last year. So, I don't know. Now, what somebody said, SoCal said, or somebody said it in here, M85 said it, Akers is expected to re-sign pending a physical. Expected. So we'll see what they do there. But if I'm not mistaken, did they not re-sign or did they not sign Aaron Jones? So it's like, how likely? Another good name, Dalvin Cook. Another very great name to bring in this mug. I would love that. Immediately, I would love that. Cam Akers, Dalvin Cook. These are great names. Now, Chris is saying somebody from the Bears. What's his name? I gotta get the name. Last year, Dalvin Cook was okay. He was all right for the Jets, but the Jets were a dumpster fire regardless last year. So it's like, how much did we expect? That offensive line was horrid last year, just completely horrid. So, didn't really get to do much. But with us though, in this running game, he can get busy, baby. And that's that wiggle and that kind of home run ability that I believe we're kind of missing in our running back room. Keep it in perspective, bro. This is perfect. I'm glad you said this, Leo. What I really think we're missing is that kind of ability that Dalvin Cook has. I don't think we have that in this running back room right now. I don't think we have that running back, even Zamir. I don't think we got that guy that in an instant, give me a little wiggle And this man that took something 40 yards. You know what I mean? Now, I feel like if it's schemed up right, we see the creases unfold before us. We see Zamir put his foot in that ground. He going to make something happen. But as far as making, lemonades and you got no lemons, you feel what I'm saying? Your boy Dalvin Cook can do that. He can do that, right? Get a little wiggle, get out of there, create a big play. So, and he's going to give you something in the running game. That's a very good name, man. So, that's another name right there you can add to the, could have been list right there, or just an extra list right there you can add to that. Also, another name, I saw it before, but didn't want to add it right there, but Darius Leonard. I saw Sanjeet said something about that. He told me something about that. Darius Leonard will be another interesting name as far as if you want to add something to that linebacker room, because I know a lot of us are sitting here and we're like, we don't really like the linebacker room. I see a lot of people that say that's damn near one of the weakest position groups, right? So if you're really, really worried about that linebacker room, that could be an interesting name if you talk about Darius Leonard and what he would be able to bring into that room. So like, my man Leo pointed out, we won one little thing away from this being an old type of category, right? So that'd be something right there that we got to monitor right there. But as we coming down to the bottom of the hour, man, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. If you're here already, it's your first time being here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. You're already an hour in, baby. You already done took an hour, man. That's an hour you ain't getting back. Might as well hit that subscribe button, man. Come join your boys and all the family every Wednesday, man. You know what time it is. But we're coming down to the bottom of the hour, so you know it's time for the final segment, which is the final rundown, right? We're going to give y'all the final rundown. We coming here on the final segment. So what are we recapping? What are we talking about? We recapped some of the free agents that I believe can help the Raiders instantly, right? If we're talking about guys that need to come in here, assume a role, give us some veteran leadership, maybe give us some really, really good rotational depth. We talked about all that, right? Our CFP areas, right? And we're going to keep that segment for sure, especially as we go throughout the season. So remember that phrase, CFP. We are going to be talking about our CFP areas, which is the cause for pause, right? We talked about it, right? The cornerback position, the running back position. Some people think the linebacker position. All I'm saying is it's very, very early still, right? Signing that you can make right now in this process or whatever you do could change the course and alter whatever it is that this defense or offense is meant to do, right? You don't never know. A signing can be the difference between a top 10 or a top 5 defense. You know what I mean? That's the margins we're talking about right now. And a lot of people want to say we're a top 5, feel disrespected if we're not listed as a top 5 defense. But to me, it's understandable because there's some huge question marks still looming. But at the end of the day, like I said, one signing can take that from a top 10 to a top 5, right? So let's not be afraid to say that there are still concerns, right? I think as a fan base, it's okay and it's good to voice that. That's cool, right? It don't just mean we're being sheep. Don't be sheep, right? At the end of the day, just because this is our favorite team, don't mean we have to sit here and agree with every single decision or that they do, right? We don't have to do that. At the end of the day, there are some things that we can say, not really feeling that right here, or this ain't the best right here. At the end of the day, it's all human, right? Mistakes can be made, but it's not bad if you point that out either. It don't mean you hate the team. It don't mean you hate AP and all that, bro. It's just you want to point that out, right? And that's good. There's conversation we need to have because at the end of the day, right, some people ask, why do we need to have that conversation? Because if things happen during the season, we can recollect what we talked about. Go back, right? Go into history, see what we said, see if it worked out, see if it didn't work out, and maybe, just maybe, something happens to where it changes what that was. You know what I mean? So regardless of the fact, the cause for pause areas, look into those. Don't be afraid to sit there and say, I have a question on that. Or there's reasons that I don't fully believe in that. And that's okay. If you get proven wrong, that's a good thing, right? At the end of the day, bro, like, think about this, bro. We're all fans of the team. If you don't like something and that particular something ends up working out, that's a good thing, because that means it exceeded your expectation, right? It exceeded your expectation. So it's not all rainbows and daisies. You feel what I'm saying? It's not all rainbows and daisies. Sometimes roses smell like boo-boo too. So at the end of the day, right, gots to make sure that you're keeping it clean. And at the end of the day, make sure you're keeping a keen eye out for what we looking for. Jesus Christ. Almost going ahead and kill myself right there. But I appreciate everybody that is in the building, right? Your boy's getting ready to end this thing up, wrap this thing up. But want to go ahead and touch on the chat, man. See what some of y'all is talking about for sure, man. See what some of y'all is saying over here, man. Salute to my guy Beezy in the building for sure, man. Glad you can make it. Even if you're making it right now, man, you know you can always hit the rewind on this thing. I already know what time it is. My man Matt, what's going on, bro? Cornerback might need an infusion of veteran presence. Gilmore, for sure, bro. For sure. Hey, Severe in the building, man. And like I said, bro, one of the guys that understand it. Don't have, just because this is our favorite team, don't mean every move is rainbows and daisies. Don't mean it. You know what I mean? That's okay. It's all right to say that. Man, you already know, bro. Always gonna keep it real. But that is our time today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, feeling like turf today, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, that is our time today, man. It has been another great show. If you missed it, if you're just tuning in, go ahead. You can hit the replay on this mug, all right, and go ahead and see what we talked about as far as free agents and who I think the Raiders should keep their eye on. So go ahead, do all that. Y'all already know tomorrow is the Turf and Rundown show, 9:30 Eastern. All right, 6:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Mountain time, I believe that is. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. It's gonna be a special July 4th episode tomorrow. So while you're grilling, while you're barbecuing, pull up the YouTube, man. Pull up your boys tomorrow, and let's have a good time on the 4th, man. We're going to be celebrating with y'all. So make sure y'all pull up. You know, Turf and I trying to get to that 2K subscribers. We almost there. Y'all helping your boy do his thing. We almost at 2,000. Trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the season starts. That is imperative. I really, really want to do that, man. So if y'all can help the boy out, it would be much, much appreciated, man. So once again, it's much love to everybody that's in this mug. And y'all already know what I say every Wednesday, man. I always keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground here on the Raider Rundown, man. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Be safe, and I'm going to see y'all next Wednesday. Peace.